We need Howie Mandel here for Deal or No Deal. What's up, everybody? Welcome aboard to Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, November the 11th. And of course, tomorrow is, actually, I'm sorry, today is Sunday, November 10th. Okay, excuse me. Tomorrow is November 11th, and of course, it's Veterans Day. The markets will be half open, half closed. No bonds, no banks, no currencies. Equities will be open. But before we do anything, we have to salute our veterans and say thank you. Because again, without you, I couldn't do what I do here. And obviously, you put your lives on the line for me and for every in the country, and I appreciate it and thank you. And I hope you have a great Veterans Day and your families. And of course, that also goes for first responders and all of the police and fire who take care of us. Because again, for very little money, they put their lives on the line every single day for us, so that we can do the things we do. So we thank you. I thank you, and I salute you. In the meantime, here we are once again, and again, markets continue the mega melt up, they'll call it. Again, we continue to just grind higher and grind higher and grind higher. And again, this is one of the things that you have to recognize about markets in general. Okay, is that there's no reason to think that it's going to be over today or tomorrow. Okay, you can see that the elephant in the room, whatever we're going to talk about, is the China deal. Now, every time there's a tweet or a comment about China, the markets go wacky, one way or the other. But at the end, where do they always end up at? We always end up higher. So again, think about that for a minute, okay? Where does the market end up after all the rhetoric that goes on around it? Now, is there going to be a deal in China? I have no idea. Okay, at this point, I don't know. I mean, originally it was going to be a done deal, but obviously China's not in a hurry. They don't want to give up the ability to steal. They don't want to give up the ability to grab our intellectual properties. Again, I mean, this has been going on for forever, as long as I can remember. I mean, I remember going to trade shows way back in the day, and they would be taking pictures and be duplicating things that we could do. It would take us a year, it'd take them 30 days. So again, this is not new. This is not something that I think we're going to see end anytime soon. And of course, that will probably be the fly in the ointment that will keep this deal paused. Now we have seen some adjustments for the for the Christmas season, right? There may be some pausing of the tariffs back and forth, but I think we are being misled, and we're missing the big point. Okay, and the big point here is that China is selling their goods all over the world much cheaper. They have reduced the value of the yuan or the renminbi, whatever you want to call it, okay, down to a level that all tariffs have been covered. So all we're seeing now is giving our retailers, okay, an excuse to raise their prices. And of course, they probably won't raise into Christmas no matter what happens, because certainly you don't want to start this now in the season of joy and in the season of happiness and when people are out spending money. But you might see, again, but what all this really does is gives them an excuse to raise prices when they're really not paying more for goods. Our exporters are being hurt because of the high cost of the dollar. Okay, and again, you continue to devalue other currencies, it makes our goods all that much more expensive. But I think if you look at the grain markets have nailed this whole trade war news almost to the T. Because again, they have not really budged. And in fact, they become, with all the positive news on trade talk and all the goods that they're going to buy and all the agriculture they're going to buy, the grains continue to work their way softer. Okay. Now again, they're not in bad shape, but we have reversed in corn and of course, wheat and soybeans were still, long. But again, at the end of it, okay, they don't look strong. So I think this is all part of, we go back to the uptrend, the mega uptrend that's in the market. And of course, that's being ground up on, again, there's nobody selling the market right now. There's no place to go. Okay. So even though I have said this almost every week for the last 2 months, and I'm going to say it again, that I think we are in the very early stages of a recession, it doesn't matter. And again, if you think that news like that is going to change what the markets are doing, you're wrong. Okay. Remember, markets are about money. Markets are about what's going on. Markets are about investing and trying to find some yield. There is no place in the world today that you can get yield unless you go to the United States stock market. Okay, you want 1.5% in a treasury. Okay, again, but nobody wants that. So you can see that the money has to flow into the stock market. And again, we have become so immune to any bad news because there is no bad news. Because you've got, of course, the Powell put or the Fed, the cluelessness from the Federal Reserve that continues to, do their thing and keep money readily available and keep trying to pump in liquidity. So again, so that shouldn't stop. Okay, but I think there's some interesting things going on, and of course, you talk about the Chinese spending, right? They're spending a lot less globally, not just here. Okay? They're spending a lot less money, which tells you that there are issues there. Now, again, we have written about issues in China for not just since the trade war started. There have been issues. They've been creating a big balloon, a big bubble for an extended period of time. This is not new. Okay? Remember, any economy, when you continue to try to artificially pump it up, when you try to continue to keep it flowing, okay, that wanting to get away from the next recession only makes the one that comes much deeper, okay? And of course, China has had for years the hidden cities, all of these things, okay, very similar to what Japan did in the 90s. You're seeing history play out as it did in the 90s for Japan, and it started to play out here, okay, in 08, 09. And again, it's going to repeat itself at some point. Okay, but again, China's the next one to potentially fall on this system of free money, on no interest rates, on nothing. And again, that's really what happens in this world. And again, that's why you cannot try to prevent the recession that is coming. The best way to let it go, it's like taking a Band-Aid, just rip it right off, let it happen, and let's not worry about it. But I think there's a lot of things, to look at, and look, there's still a lot of positives. Okay, I mean, again, look, let's be clear. Okay, we know that at some point the markets will have another meltdown. Okay, but we also know that years from now, okay, that the markets will more than likely be up an average of 8.5% year over year. So again, we're not worried about the short term. And if you're investing in especially if you're hedged, you have nothing to worry about. But again, the objective is to stay in the market and not let things get away from you. So are we going to see what we call the old beta chase going into the end of the year? The markets are up 21%. I think we're up, about 30% from the lows of last Christmas. Okay. So all of these money managers that have missed this market, okay, are they going to start to chase it up? Okay. Again, so they can show and prove that they were in some of these high flyers. All right. Again, it's always interesting. It's kind of dumb, right? I mean, again, your clients know, they can look at their statement and go, geez, I didn't have this until now, and I paid top dollar for it. So, but again, it's the old Wall Street. It's the old try to trick them, try to pretend like you knew what the hell you were doing, which most don't. Okay, so again, this goes into the same, risk on, risk off. So now, do we get, the last minute chase? Does that create a much bigger Santa Claus rally? And again, we're not predictors of markets. Okay, we're strictly, mechanically trading them, which we'll talk more about in our trading and how the markets did. But again, we're not going to predict it. I know the inevitability of it going to happen. But the question is when? Is it tomorrow? Is it a year from tomorrow? Nobody knows. And anybody who thinks they know is a liar and an idiot. Okay, because there's no way to know when or what is going to be the final straw. You don't know what is going to be the final thing that breaks the market down. The news, there's been enough bad news that the market could be much lower now. Manufacturing, all of the data has been bad. But again, the markets want to go higher, so there's no reason to believe that's going to change. Okay, but at some point, some of this news will change, and it will be something else. But until then, you got to continue to respect what's going on. So you look around, you can see that China's in trouble, and of course, you can see many other of the nations are in trouble. I mean, all you have to do is look at the interest rate market. All you have to look at the stimulus that everybody's trying to create, and it's not happening. All you have to do is look at the recessionary times around the globe. So again, if you think that this is something that's going to be in, again, you're looking up the wrong tree, because until something decides to stop these markets from going higher, they're going higher. Now, the other thing is China, is the embrace of them using blockchain, a warning shot to the West, I guess, is the question. And the answer is no. I mean, again, listen, blockchain is here. Blockchain is here to say. Blockchain the Chinese and Russians have been using blockchain for years. Okay, and blockchain is here. You have to understand what the whole series is, and that's just a way of transferring at a much quicker rate. Okay, blockchain is going to be a part of economies no matter what. Okay, now the question is, will the cryptocurrency part be the same part? But the actual blockchain is a phenomenal technology, which I believe IBM's been invested in for, 10 years or whatever it is now. So again, is that a warning shot? No, it's a fact of functioning business. Okay. And I don't know if we use it or we don't use it. Again, I don't know the inner workings of everything, but again, it's going to be part of it, because that's, like the Chinese and Russians have been trading, money for oil, gold for oil. Okay. That's been their trade through the blockchain. So again, we'll see, but I don't consider it a warning shot. Again, it's hard to fire a warning shot when you're already weak and you're going against the strongest country in the world. So, as far as warning shots are concerned, we'll see what it looks like. In the meantime, this is Bubba's Bottom Line. Todd Bubba Horowitz. It is Sunday, November the 10th. And of course, it is Veterans Day weekend. And again, we salute our veterans. And thank you very much for your service and for helping us and for letting me have the big mouth that I can have here. But we're going to step out here for a break, and we'll be back with more of Bubba's Bottom Line. What's up, Walt? Yesterday I did a great hedging webinar. If you'd like to check it out, it will be our last class. So if you'd like to check out the webinar, it is free. All you have to do is email me at bub@bubbatrading.com. I'll be happy to send it to you. Okay, our next class starts on Tuesday, and that will be the final class. So if you'd like to check it out, please feel free. You can see if you'd like to participate. If not, no worries. But again, we recommend that everybody always be hedged, so that you don't have to make that important decision of, as they say in the trading world, puking it out. And of course, don't forget about our high school program at Patreon, patreon.com/Bubba Trading. That's patreon.com/Bubba Trading. Now let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line with yours truly. Welcome back to Bubba's Bottom Line for Sunday, November the 10th, Veterans Day weekend. Tomorrow is Veterans Day. And again, as we've been saying all throughout the show, we salute our veterans and we thank you and appreciate the service that you've given us. So markets last week, surprise, they were higher again. Shocking, isn't it not? Of course, we're still long. So again, obviously, quite happy about the action. Again, am I happy about the trading action? Am I happy about the actual market action? No. But from a mechanical standpoint, from my portfolio standpoint, and again, this is the kind of action that long-term investors love. Okay. Why? Because there's very little volatility. Okay. There's an overwhelming amount of complacency in the market. And of course, investors don't want to see those wild swings. The fact is, there's only traders like those wild swings, because that's when we get to make the most amount of money, is when the markets are swinging wildly back and forth. So we talk about the dull, slow grind, and there is no reason that it should not continue. Okay. Again, at some point, there will be something that will change the dynamics in the direction. But for today, and until proven otherwise, look for the markets to continue to grind higher. There is no reason to expect anything else. Now, again, that doesn't make it for a great trading environment, but it does great for an investing environment. And again, everybody wants to know, why is the volume dropped off so far? Because think about it. There's really no sellers in this market right now. Okay, there is really no, what they say, two-way trade or two-way paper. There is nobody really stepping in to sell. We have not seen, and I would expect, as I said last week, I would expect someday this week a sell-off, just as a profit taking, as a way for some to clean out some profits. Okay, but again, I don't think that's going to be a big deal. It could be 200-300 points, but at the end of it, I think that we continue to grind higher. We're going into the Christmas season, as we talked about earlier. We could have the potential, the beta chase from those money managers that have not been in, that have been on the sidelines in cash. So again, why would we think that something's going to change? Okay, do we, are we smarter than the market? And of course, we would not be, because the market at the end of the day is always right. Okay, so again, we continue to stay long equities, and of course, gold got pummeled. And to all you trolls from Kitco who continue to troll me about my calls in gold, well, it's too bad you didn't listen, because of course we hit our 1460 target. Okay, it went from 1480 and cut through it like a hot knife through butter, and I hit the 1460 target. And I think now you're going to be looking probably at 1440. Okay, gold is falling apart here at the moment, along with silver. And again, look, longer term, if you're an investor, I'm not selling my gold here. I own gold. Okay, as a trader, I'm short. Okay, but again, I'm not selling gold, and I'm certainly not recommending that you sell gold. Gold is a hard asset, very much like your house. Okay, you're not going to sell tomorrow. You're not trading it. So again, as a investor, just like equities, you hang on. Okay, as a trader, I think we're going lower. And again, if we break through 1440, who knows where we're going next? Again, these rallies get met, and we're going to continue to see, I think, pressure here. And of course, we are still short, and we will stay short until proven otherwise. And oil, of course, we were short. We got blown out. We got blown out of the water, or out of the oil, out of the barrel. And of course, oil has now broken out a little bit to the upside. As we were, shorter for a while, and of course, it is now, changed in reverse and is broken out. Again, I think that, you look at 58, 60 are the levels, and again, can it go higher? Sure, it can go higher. It can go back. It can get back to those ridiculous highs made, on the Saudi Arabia drone bombing news, okay, about a month ago, okay? It doesn't mean it can't get back there. It's just getting back there in a normal fashion by grinding higher. Again, I don't think it's warranted. I don't think it's justified. But at the end of the day, again, if I'm going to trade mechanically, then I have to keep my opinion out of it, okay? Because again, I hate being long oil, but it's certainly not going, I'm not going to change and be short oil because I have an opinion, okay? Now again, if you told me I could hold it and not take the punishment and pain for an extended period of time, I might just hold it short. But again, that's not what I can do, and I do have to suffer the pain and the torture of what happens. So I'm going to wait, and I'm going to stay long. And then of course, when we reverse over the short side, which will be who knows, okay, I'll reverse over, and that's the mechanical method of trading, so that I can keep my opinions out of the market, okay? Because again, over the long haul, it's much easier to try to catch using our algorithms versus trying to, determine. Again, short-term trading, obviously a whole different story. Okay, when I'm short-term, I can be long or short anything, no matter what my long position is, my long-term, I can be long or short anytime for a minute. It doesn't matter. Okay, so again, we continue to see like for that to go out. Bonds continue to get crushed, which is extremely interesting here, because if you don't remember, lower bond prices mean higher yields. Okay, so even though the Fed has cut rates, even though the Fed is providing more liquidity, and we're talking about lower rates, mortgage rates have gone higher. Okay, interest rates are climbing here. Okay, in the face of all this. So what that really tells you that there's still demand for money. Okay, and of course you continue to see the whackage of bonds, which is, again, selling out. And where's that money going? Well, probably going to the equity market, right? You continue to sell bonds. Okay, and of course that tells you that it's most likely going into equities. But again, we're short. I don't expect, there's nothing that shows me that it's going to change anytime soon. We have thought for a while that we're going much lower, and of course we continue to do so. The dollar continues to push higher, and again, we were short the dollar. We're still short the dollar, but I'm sure it's getting very close to changing. You had the push down, and of course the Fed has done their best work at trying to muscle the dollar lower, and it's not working, obviously, and you're starting to see a spring. And if you look at the chart, it's almost a W pattern, which is pretty bullish, and we've broken out of a couple of levels now. So again, we probably will reverse in any day now. But again, the real point here is that the dollar is strong because it is considered a safe haven asset. It is considered a place where money will park as it's concerned about global economies. So it continues to push higher. Now, again, that's not good for the exporting world, but again, that's the way life goes. At the end of the day, it's true supply and demand. They really need the goods they're going to pay for. Okay, grain markets really soft. Okay, it's really frustrating because I'm obviously extremely bullish and have been bullish to grains. Wheat and soybeans, continue to muster and hold. I mean, wheat looks actually pretty good. Soybeans are getting to a point where they could actually reverse, which wouldn't make me happy, but they could hold here as well. But corn, it has actually reversed, and we are short corn, which again, we had the WASDE report, and again, I said the report was probably bearish. Now, I never looked at it, so I have no idea what it was. But even based on the trade that I saw on the board, okay, corn at least spiked about 6-7 cents, and it only closed up a penny. So in my eyes, it was a pretty bearish report. Okay, now was it or not? I can't say, but to me, it looked like a bearish report. Again, I don't read it and I don't care because again, in my eyes, price determines everything. The actual report means zip. Okay, so we'll look at that. But again, right now we're short corn, long beans, and long wheat. Okay, and again, corn will be short for a while until it reverses, and of course, we could be reversing in soybeans and wheat anytime soon. Again, I would hope that it doesn't do that, but again, that's that's the trading, and that's being able to separate your opinion and your emotion from the actual mechanical method or the math of the market. Okay, meats have been really strong as we've discussed many times. Okay, cattle continues to go higher. Paused a little bit up here, but again, we've just made new highs in both fats and feeders. So are we surprised? No, we're not surprised. We've been calling for it all along. We're still long. They look like they want to go higher. And as I wrote in my report on Thursday, a little pullback is not bad. Again, remember, okay, in a bull market, in a market that's going higher, pullbacks are meant to be bought. Okay? Again, double bottoms, those type of patterns are very strong in a market that is uptrending. I expect to see feeder cattle go over 150, and I expect fat cattle or live cattle to go over 125. So again, we're still long. We're hanging in there. We think it's going higher. Hogs, we're still short. Now again, as we've said the last couple of weeks, if you looked at hogs for the last 3 weeks, they're just in this big old flippy band, man. It's wild because every day is a couple of buck move one way or the other. But in the meantime, they haven't gone anywhere. Now again, we're getting closer to getting long. As it sits in this pattern, the buy spot continues to fall, but we're still short. But again, obviously, I think that we're probably going to pop out and go higher. But I wouldn't mind if we stayed here another couple of days and brought our buy point down a little bit lower, because they actually could buy it down, or we'd lock in profits from the original sale and then get long, which to me would be obviously a great spot to be in. But again, that's what we're looking for overall. Again, I think that this is part of the markets and what's going on, and of course, look, there's a lot of news to believe markets are going lower and things are going to change. But remember, if you trade the news, you lose. You've got no chance because the news has already been accounted for, and markets most of the time will price in. The only thing that cannot be priced into markets is a black swan event. Okay, but any economic data, the WASDE report, any of these reports, okay, they're pretty much prepared and priced into most markets. So if you think you're going to beat it by trying to trade it once you hear the news, remember, you're the 1 millionth person to have heard it. Trade the news, you lose. We're going to step out here for break. This is Bubba's Bottom Line. Todd Bubba Horowitz. It is Sunday, November the 10th, Veterans Day weekend, and we thank our veterans. We salute our veterans, okay, and we appreciate what you do for us. And of course, we did a great webinar yesterday for hedging. If you'd like to check it out, it's free. All you do is email me at bub@bubbatrading.com. I'll be happy to send it to you. And don't forget about our high school program at Patreon, patreon.com/Bubba Trading. That's patreon.com/Bubba Trading. Now let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line, and me with my usual commentary. What's up? Welcome back, everybody. This is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Todd Bubba Horowitz, and it's Sunday, September the 10th. Excuse me, November the 10th. And of course, once again, we salute our military and hope that you're having a great time. And thank you for your services. In the meantime, as you know, I always give a little commentary, and this week, it's really about the overall accounting practices that many companies use, okay? And there's been a couple in the news that we have found out that there's been some faulty accounting, okay? But again, one of the things that I think is very frustrating, okay, is, the manipulation of numbers, okay, from companies to tell you that their earnings are going to be bad, okay? And then, of course, they beat that bad number. So the new money flows in because, I missed it. It's like a mental game. It's like a psychological game, okay? But what's really troubling is that when we find out that some of these numbers weren't even real to begin with. I mean, earnings look pretty pathetic. Now, I know you hear the TV, they're raging on how great earnings are, okay? Raging. And I say, that it's not the great that everybody wants to think. Okay, I think what you're really seeing, okay, is a market that tells you that at the end of the day, okay, that we've got the overall situation that you're playing with the numbers. Okay, so they're trying to fool you into bringing in new money. Okay, and again, it's obviously to their advantage. Higher stock price, higher company value. I mean, so again, the accounting practices need to be evaluated. And it goes the same, in my opinion. Again, this is my opinion for banks, right? Banks are continually, we're talking about and hearing about how strong they are, yet we're having trouble with the repo rates. We're having trouble here. They're not providing liquidity. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on. And again, I continue to say that someday we're going to find out that the banks did not have enough in reserve to cover the amount of paper they have on the street right now. So, which is another way of creating new money, by the way. So at the end of it, we have to watch the accounting practices, and hopefully at some point, somebody will finally step in and do the right thing, okay? Instead of letting these major conglomerates get away with the crap that they provide. This is Bubba's Bottom Line, Todd Bubba Horowitz. And of course, this is the Sunday, November the 10th, and it's Veterans Day weekend. And of course, once again, we salute our veterans and thank you and appreciate it and wish you all the best, you and your families. And again, can't thank you enough. The first responders, police, fire, everybody who serves this country. Happy Veterans Day. And of course, it's Sunday night, right? We got some football, right? We got to go for some football. Well, we got the Cowboy and the Viking, all right? Again, I don't think the Cowboys are that good. I thought they were good. I don't think they're that good. I'm not a big fan of the Vikings either. But I think in tonight's game, you got to take the 3 points. Take the Vikings. I wouldn't go heavy, okay, because he ain't my brother. But I think that, of course, the Vikings will probably win the game straight up. This is Bubba's Bottom Line. Top Bubba Horowitz. Have a great Veterans Day weekend. Again, I thank you, my veterans. We'll see you all tomorrow with Bubba's Daily Update, but of course, and next Sunday with Bubba's Bottom Line. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you later.